So I'm recording now officially. Okay. So I was going to do kind of conversation stuff, but then after all the conversations in our thread today, I thought this would be a really good topic for everybody. So it's very simple because I want to give you guys a chance to ask questions and kind of like go through conversations and stuff to get you more comfortable. But the very first thing that you want to make sure is that like you are being proof that the products work. Okay. Because people are going to be skeptical to begin with. They just are. I mean, for God's sakes, I think Val asked me for like 7 months before I said, okay. So people are skeptical to begin with. So, you just want to make sure that you're actually like being proof that the products are working. The workouts and the trainers and Shakeology and, Energize, all of those things are things that, are working for you and they've bettered your life and all of that kind of stuff. Okay. And talk about it because people want to see that, that you are being real and they want to see what you're doing and, all that kind of stuff. So don't forget that while you're having these conversations on the other side to be sharing your story so that people know what you're doing. Okay. So I actually learned a lot of this from Val with the asking of the question. So when you're having a conversation with someone, you want to make sure that you're actually asking them questions because what works for you may be the thing that you really, really want to talk about. And I know that that's something that I do pretty often, or, I've been trying to get better at it, but you want to make sure that you're asking them questions so that you can get them the products that work best for them. Because just because Ultimate Portion Fix works best for me and my lifestyle and the way that my life works doesn't mean that it's going to be the best nutrition program for them. 2B Mindset might be better because they need to focus on mindset and they don't have time to do the portion control. Okay, it might just be that they need to shift how they're eating and what they're eating and when they're eating and that kind of thing. So you want to make sure that you're actually asking them questions. So if they reach out to you or if you're starting to talk to them and they're seeming like they're interested, ask them what their goals are. What kind of exercises do they like? Because Beachbody On Demand has a ton of different types of workouts. So you want to make sure that, you're having the conversation around what they actually want and what they need. Okay. A big thing is nutrition. Definitely ask them, how is your nutrition? Do you eat out? What does a typical day look like for you? All of that kind of stuff, because you want to get an idea of what their lifestyle is like now so that you can help them make those changes as they go forward. Okay. Okay. So I have 2 objections. But really the whole point is that how many of you, I can't see all of your faces, but how many of you get the cost objection? I mean, like really, it's like, I feel like it's the number one objection. It's too expensive. They can't afford it. They're not ready to invest, all of that kind of stuff. And I don't know if you felt the same way when you started, but really what you want to do is respond in a way that is your own personal experience. I felt that way too. I found all that kind of stuff. Because that was I wanted nothing to do with Shakeology, right? And so I feel like, as coaches, most of us have some sort of story as to how we felt before and how we felt now, because now we get it, I guess. So when you're talking to them and they say Shakeology is too expensive, and actually, I don't know if any of you listened to the call that was with Jess Carey last week, but one of the things that she said, I'm going to scroll back up, was how she talks about like, do you eat out? I don't even know if I put that question on here. I don't think I did. But if you ask them like, how often do you eat out, and that kind of thing, and if they give you the objection that Shakeology is too expensive, you can kind of go back and say, well, if you cut out this many meals a week or whatever, that could supplement, an entire meal. And you know what I mean? You could kind of have that conversation with them about how Shakeology is a meal and, that kind of thing. And they're getting better nutrients than they would if they were eating out, and they're going to reach their goals and that kind of thing. Another objection I get a lot, and this one, full disclosure, drives me crazy when people tell me that they don't have time. It makes me like want to scream. But it's, again, talking to them about, well, like, what does your day look like? What time do you get up? What time do you go to bed? Give me a rundown of what your day looks like, and help them kind of see where they could actually make the time. If they're getting up at 6:30 in the morning, tell them to get up at 6 and go to bed 30 minutes earlier. So, I mean, not that you really want to tell people what to do, but it's sort of providing them with, well, this is a way that you could make it work. This is how you can do it. And I'm super, super honest with people too. I tell them it is not going to be easy, because any sort of like whole lifestyle change or any sort of big change is never typically easy. So I tell them, like, it does take time and effort and, an adjustment to do all of these things. I mean, I'm up, my husband and I are up at 4 a.m. every day. It is not always fun. And it's not like my alarm goes off and I'm like springing out of bed like it's the best thing ever because it's 4 a.m. And it took time. And so what I tell people is I go to bed earlier, but I broke it down. So I started, getting up at 4:45, and then it was 4:30, and then it was 4:15, and then it was 4, because I knew that I needed to break it down instead of like just jumping in all at once. Does that make sense? So I guess when you're having conversations, it's more of how, like, telling them and helping them kind of see themselves being able to do it, because sometimes people don't think of it that way. Sometimes
I was gonna say, like, with this one especially, like, I always said I don't have the time because I'm gonna commute like an hour to work each way, and just everything. But I've learned, like you said, I just started getting myself up earlier in the day, and now that I do that, I find that I need to be up earlier. Like, I hate waking up and just feeling like I have to rush out the door. Like, is now like the worst feeling of trying to be like, do I have my lunch? Do I have this? Like, instead of now, like, I wake up early and it's like, I come downstairs, I get my energized, I pack my lunch, I have like all the things that I do, like put dinner on the crock pot if I'm doing that. And then I just feel like I'm not rushing. Like, I feel like I'm so much more prepared for the day too, instead of like, grab this, do this. Like, I woke up late on Tuesday and I was like, I felt just frazzled all day long because I didn't hear my alarm go off. So it was a whole hour behind schedule. And that just threw me off because I didn't have that hour of time focusing on myself. So also it's a huge excuse because I said I didn't have time when I first started. I was working 2 days a week where I didn't start until 10 o'clock. So how did I not have time? Like, how did I not have time? Let's just be honest. But I said I didn't have time. I mean, I was freaking tired because the night before I work until 8 o'clock and I don't get home until 9 and eat dinner at 9:30, and the whole thing was like just thrown off. But how did I not have time when I didn't go to work until 10 o'clock in the morning? Let's just be honest. So you kind of have to, I mean, it's walking a fine line, but doing that feel felt found with them is huge. Like, when people tell me I don't have time, like, that's the thing, like, well, like, walk me through your day, and then if they say, like, I still have a lot of people that work out in the evenings. Like, I cannot do that. But I tell them, like, even if you tell them, like I have a lot of girls in my challenge group that work out in the evening, you know, you just have to find what works best for your routine and your schedule. But even if you can get 10 or 15 minutes in, that's great. Like there's a 10-minute trainer. I had somebody that was like, I can't commit to more than like 10 minutes initially. Like they had all the things, like they were driving their kids to who knows where like a million times. And it was like quarantine and like school, and it was just everything. And I just told her, like, think about what you can commit to. If it's 10 minutes, do 10 minutes. Because by the time she would wake up, even a half hour, 40 minutes early, her kids were then like waking up and like crawling on her. And so like her half an hour workout ended up only getting like 10 minutes because like life was just crazy at first. A good time management book.
So the first thing that I'm actually thinking of isn't a book, but it's Melanie's podcasts.
Yeah, I was gonna say Melanie does a very good job of like talking about time.
Yes, she really does. Melanie Mitro has the Women Inspiring Women podcast, and she talks, there's a lot of episodes in there, Barbara, that are specific to managing your time blocking, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that I can think of. Eat That Frog, actually, it's called Women Inspiring Women. But another good book, it's a super, super easy read. It's called Eat That Frog. We actually use this. I use it at work with our students, but it's a good time management book.
I was also gonna say too, I've not read Eat Your Frog. I think Pam, I don't know if she's on here. She just started that one and she's excited for it. Mm-hmm. But also The Miracle Morning. That one is by, what's his name? Hal Elrod.
Elrod, yep.
Yeah.
I recommend that book a lot to people.
Yeah. When I first read it, I wanted to like punch him in the throat because I was like, you're stupid. Like, I'm not gonna wake up like wanting to conquer the world. But honestly, having that time, like I really thrive and crave that morning routine. So slowly you start to adapt things there too, and like going to bed earlier, and then like planning out like the night before, like setting out your workout clothes or like getting things ready like for the night before, that you want to do that so that it makes your morning go faster too. So the time one kind of annoys me too. Although most of you on here are parents and you're probably like, shut the heck up. Like you have no idea. But that's the other thing. Like, I don't know about you guys. It drives me crazy when people like use their kids as an excuse. Like, even when I have my nieces and nephews with me, like they know now, like I've been doing it for so long that they know every time they come to my house, they're like, are you working out tomorrow? Can we work out with you? So like Tuesday I woke up late, so no one worked out, but they like asked me as soon as I like woke them up, they're like, did you work out? Did you not wake us up? And I'm like, no, I woke up late, like we gotta go. But they know now. So like let your kids work out with you, even if it's better than nothing. Like your push-ups might be terrible or whatever it is that day because you're fighting off the kids, but like keep at it and they will learn. Like they will learn, and you are setting such a good example for them. So sorry, soapbox moment, but that was something I'm like, it drives me crazy when I'm like, well, the kids won't. And I'm like, my 3-year-old niece last week was just doing whatever I did, country heat with me. It wasn't great, but she did it. So like, you can do it. And I'm sure there's many times where Val's holding on to a baby while she's trying to work out too. Like,
okay. Yeah. Val's kids are in her workouts like every day.
Oh, I mean like on like attached to body. Like, but yeah, the little ones, I see them all the time. So it's like, I don't know. Soapbox. I'm done. Okay.
You're so funny.
I know.
So this is the last slide, and then you guys can ask questions and like talk about like scenarios and stuff like that. But the thing that you want to remember is, and I have a really hard time with this too, people they're not always ready to hear our word vomit about how amazing our products and services are, because they're totally skeptical, and we know all of the things about the things that we use and do and how it's changed our life, and we get really excited to share it, but the people on the other end have no idea what it is that we do unless they've used like Beachbody On Demand or something like that before. Most of the time they're just not ready to hear all of the things about all of the products. So that's why it's super, super important to make sure that we're asking them questions and getting a feel for what they need and where they're at before we just send them on like information overload. And I think people they really just want to get healthy and they want to feel better, but they're not always ready to invest. And I think a lot of times, at least in my conversations, people want the get healthy and they want the feel better part, but they don't want to do the work part. They don't want to make the actual change. They want the quick fix. So I'm starting to learn this too, because I'm only about a year and a half in, that when I talk to people, I don't want people to commit because I want the Success Club points. I want people to commit because they genuinely want to make a change and are ready to commit, because what I've been learning is that if they are not ready when they purchase, then they don't stick to it. They're not completely and totally invested. Because I don't know, Tiffany and Val, if you guys have had, but I've had people, sorry, going by. But I don't know if you've had people who have invested and then don't hear from them again. And that makes me so sad, because I reach out and I want to help them. But I don't get a response back. So just keep in mind that when you're having these conversations, to meet these people where they're at and walk them through everything so that they know exactly what they're getting, what to expect from you, what to expect from the group, what all of this includes, so that they get you as a coach, that they get the accountability group, and they get all of the things. And again, I know that I keep saying this, but I really think that it's so true that people need to see you practicing what you preach before they're going to trust you. They need to see that you're actually doing the work, you're doing, you're following an 80-20 nutrition style, whatever it is that, because I think all of us as coaches are different and have similar lifestyles, but like different lifestyles. And then we just need to meet people where they are and follow up if they're not ready. Val, I see your face, so I'm thinking that you have some things to say. Do you?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like a madhouse. I have a baby sleeping on me, and I have my earbud in, and I just knocked it out, but I could hear the whole thing. I just wasn't sitting right at my phone for the
You're fine.
So anyway, yes, exactly what you're saying. It happens where people sometimes sign up when they're not quite ready because, there is this group coming up and they think they want it, but sometimes timing just doesn't work out for them. But even with that being said, people that commit and then maybe they don't do well, or they just kind of, they get the challenge back and they don't really do anything with it. a lot of times those people will come back because you are still showing up, but the timing wasn't right for them. And so that's the thing is like when you are having these conversations with people, you are planting seeds. And a lot of people are going to tell you no. And if you don't hear no, you don't hear it often, then you're not inviting and connecting enough. And so what we have found is that literally those people that have said no, they're gonna say yes because they're gonna continue to watch you. But it's timing. It's always timing. They need to be ready themselves, and they need to be ready to be coachable and open and ready to put in the time and the effort to do this. So whatever the objection that they give you, I don't ever want, and I tell anybody who gets these objections, don't ever think of them as no forever. It's just not right now. And so talking them through whatever they're objecting to, and even if it comes down to, well, the timing just might not be right for them, and that's okay. You gotta let it go and follow up with them the next month and see where they're at and invite them again. And it's just a process like that until you can kind of meet them where they're at, when they're ready, and then get them going. So, so hopefully that's kind of what I was thinking with that. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I was going to say too, like, even if they ignore you, that still doesn't mean it's a no either, guys. I didn't look back at my very original tracking system, but I had a girl sign up yesterday that I swear I've sent her a message like a bazillion times, and she hasn't replied not once. And yesterday, that was it. Like, it was her time. So don't think that you're bothering someone, especially when they keep coming to your stuff and supporting you. They are giving you that opportunity to invite them. That is them saying, like, I see you, but I'm not quite ready yet, but I see you and I like what you're doing. It will eventually come. And then there was something else I wanted to add to what Val said. I'll think about it. I don't remember right now.
Does this help? Do you have questions? Melissa, I'm thinking of you. Does this help? Like with your conversations and stuff?
Yeah, it helps. It's just, I don't know. Like, I feel like I have so much to say and I like don't want to overwhelm people with it. And like the conversation I was having today with my coworker, I was trying to like ask these questions, but like I know how like what they eat and stuff, like because we were in the office together, so I know what she's doing, but it's just like it's that constant like, oh well, I eat like my husband does, or oh we do this, or, and I get it, but it's like, okay, but you've seen what I'm doing and you know that it works. So I don't know. I guess maybe I just don't know how to like transition it. Does that make sense?
Also, I would say too, like, don't be afraid to just stop for a minute. Like, I'm actually in the middle of a conversation right now with this girl who wanted more information about my nutrition, and then proceeds to tell me that she's drinking an Atkins shake and ketones and like eating vegetables for dinner, and like that's it. And I'm like, and this is working? Like, question mark. So don't be afraid to like not respond. At the office it's kind of hard, like if you're actually having a face-on-face like conversation, but in your inbox, like, just mark it as unread, come back to it later, like maybe even read through what they say, hop in our chat like you did today and say, guys, like, I'm struggling with this, like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how many times a day Amber and I do this. Like, what would you say to this conversation? And I'm like, hold on, let me think on that. So, that's what we're here for. And anytime you do that with us, like, it helps everyone. Like, I don't think there's a person in here that's not like, oh, how you asked that question, like, that's really good. I should try that next time. Oh, baby. Hi, baby. Are you smiling? Are you? But it helps all of us, I think. Like, I know with some of my coaches, like, and I said when they would like send me a message, helping them reply back helped me so much more with my conversations too. So it's just a spiral effect of helping each other out. 10-minute warning. Look at that face.
I just got it. But I don't know, Val, did you have anything else you wanted to add? I thought that the voice messages that you added to the thread today was really good.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Really good at recruiting, if you guys haven't noticed.
So I kind of forget what I was saying. Which one? Which part?
About the nutrition, because you're right. As far as like leading, I would 100% agree with to not lead with the sampler, just because you only get like a couple like things in there. But I think like it's always important, I think, to lead with what's going to work best for them. And typically it's a challenge track because one, it's the best deal. And two, you get the entire, everything that you need to like started right. I typically start with people's nutrition. You know, I ask them about nutrition because 99% of the time that's where the issue is what they're eating. Whether it's, you know, they're eating too much, too little. And again, what Val said in her message about how you can eat too much of a healthy thing, it's 100% true. Because I have done that myself. But I think it's just really important to keep in mind where they're at and what they need, because when they're ready, they really will commit and they'll be ready to go.
Yeah. And if someone tells you no, like, don't take it personal. Just say, I understand, like, now is not the right time for you. Can I follow up with you? Like, add them to your email list or your follow-up list or whatever. Just say, I run these groups every month. Maybe next month will be your time to start.
Yeah.
That is okay. And people, one will, then they'll keep watching you for that entire month and know that you're still showing up. But it takes that like salesiness out of it too.
Mm-hmm.
And just say, like, I always say them, like, is it okay if I still snag your email and add you to my newsletter list? Like, I send out recipes and fun little activities or whatever in my email blast. Like, is that something I can add you to? And most of the time they're like, yeah, sure, here's my email. And then they see you every month when you have a new thing or a Fitbit or whatever is coming up. And then it may be that time that they want to say yes. So that's just another tip I have. Like, just continuously get emails and things to follow up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think yeah, that is awesome. That's what I do. Like, I end it with like, okay, is it, you know, I get timing and I can yeah, you just let them know, like, and that's what makes you really good at what you do, is that you continue to keep showing up each month in their inbox. And even if they don't respond, I follow up again the next month and the next month. And even if I get ghosted, it's funny because they eventually respond and they say, you know, I wasn't meaning to ghost you, but I just wasn't ready yet. And now I'm ready. And I hear that often. But what I know what I'm good at. I know that I'm good at following up with people that express interest, and I'm not going to let them go because they need this and I know it's a gift. And so with that, with those conversations, it's about keeping it simple. It's about finding out what their challenges are. It's about finding out what they need. And then with that information, that's when you're able to tell them how you can fulfill that. So like if it is with portion control, you find out that they need structure. Well, that's the ultimate portion fix. So you're going to explain to them what the ultimate portion fix is. You're going to give them the details. And, you know, I lead with that. Like I share from our, just the video of what is ultimate portion fix. I share that all the time. And it's like a great little snippet of telling what it is. And then people actually see what I'm like, this is what I follow. And I said, check it out. And I send it. And then I follow up. I give them some time, sometimes depending on when the challenge group is starting or whatever. But I'll give them like 2 days and I'll follow back up. And I said, what did you have a minute to look at the video? What did you think? And then this is a time for them, like a lot of times they'll say, that looks good. Or, yeah, and then they'll ask a question. And then after that, I go into more info about like the different options if they're ready. Like, oh, sure, I can share the cost of the different options of that. So it's literally, you're carrying on a conversation with them, but you have to get to a point where you're not just asking and asking and asking questions. You have to give them the solution. You have to give them the tool that you have been using to help fill their needs. Does that make sense? So keeping it simple, but you need to keep the conversation going. If you let it go too long, people just don't respond. So that's the thing with, you have to keep tabs of your conversations and you have to keep it going. So hopefully that helps. And that makes sense. But yeah, I can share that video. I think Melissa asked for that video. Yes. I will share where it's all in the coach office. So it's under videos and I share it for 2B Mindset. If it's somebody that needs 2B Mindset, I share what that 2B Mindset snippet is, what tells about the program. So they can get a glimpse of what it is that I'm doing or how I can fill that need for them.
Let me
yeah,
share.
and
I'm gonna drop my my Google form in here for you guys real quick too. So mine, I always just talk about my challenge group, you know, or boot camp, and I have the what is a challenge group video first. Like this is my community. Like this is what you get along with me and everything else. And then I have like the Beachbody on Demand video, and typically I gear them towards like, so mostly yesterday my conversation was about nutrition. And so I sent the video and I was like, the program that I am following is 2B. That's the second video clip you'll see. But if you don't think that that is right for you, you know, and you think the ultimate portion fix is better, I've done that before too. So if you have questions, I can definitely answer them for you. I just prefer the first way of eating a little bit better. And so I sent that out and it has those videos in there. And so it really seems to help. They're like, yeah, I think that would be what I would like. And then it also has Beachbody on Demand. So they know that they can get the workouts too and what comes with that. So I can send that in our group chat since we're probably going to get kicked off here. So you just have an idea of how I word my challenge group information. And it's a great way because then I collect their emails because it's through a Google form. So I get their email too in case Messenger is messed up one day or something like that. So I'll have to find it for you guys because I accidentally.
All right, I'm going to stop recording, okay?
Yeah.